Hey everyone, I hope that you're doing well. So the issue that I tried to address here was that of smoking rates among trans people, and I did that by creating three health infographics. And I did this that way they could be used on social media because I know that's the common way that most of us communicate now. And it would be more effective than just handing out social media. Would be more effective than just handing out flyers. So the way that I did this was I created these infographics where they could fit on Instagram stories, and that way they could be shared more effectively and more easily. And the two objectives that I really had when making these infographics were showing the disparity between trans and cis people when it comes to tobacco rate usage, and to show trans people that they are more at risk than cis people. So you can see that the way that I do that, firstly, is by giving the actual rates at which trans people are affected by smoking, which it shows in the past 30 days that 39.7% of trans people would report smoking to that of 25.1% of cisgender people that reported smoking. And then to add an extra layer, 2.5 times of LGBTQIA plus people are at risk for smoking than that of straight adults. And then when you come and look at some of my other ones, I further show that more of that second objective, that trans people are more at risk, with even inside the community, you see farther disparities of 27.9% of trans women smoke compared to that of only 13.9% of trans men. So there's not only a disparity between sexuality and gender, but even within that transgender category, there's disparities. And the very last one really clearly shows the disparities between trans people, cis people, and lesbian, gay, and bisexual people, with trans people having a smoke rate of 35.5%, cis people having 14.9%, and LGBT people, only having a rate of 20.6%. And in addition to those objectives, the model that I really had that I went off of when creating these three infographics was that of the health belief model. And the reason that I wanted to do that was I really wanted to address the perceived susceptibility of trans people and show them that they are more at risk, that there are more trans people smoking than cis people, and that this really is an issue. And I also wanted to kind of take away that perceived barriers notion and show that there are resources on campus to help with this issue. And one of the resources I show in my third infographic, it is that of the Student Counseling Center, and I listed that number so that way students, if they feel they do need to reach out, they can reach out. But the whole goal of this and using the health belief model was to show and bring awareness that this is an issue and that trans people are smoking more than cis people. When smoking rates are continuously going down for cis people, why isn't this being showed the same across the board for all genders? And I think that's where the health belief model is really effective for me. And to address cultural competency, I really did that by defining what is trans and cis so that you can have a clear knowledge of that going through and looking at all three of these health infographics. And it's really to call out the healthcare system and say, hey, why are we making it so lower for these other identities but not for trans people? How is that fair? And really just showing that there is a disparity there and really calling it to light. And then lastly, I would just like to make sure you're able to see all three of the infographics, with the first one really trying to balance pictures and statistics. And I think I had a really cool way of doing that by kind of setting up like this versus trans versus cis, so you can see the different sides. And the second one is more just to be playful and picture based, but still give some information and statistics showing that disparity in the trans category and LGBT youth, but also showing the trans flag and someone smoking. And I think the little wheel of what's your risk is really eye-catching and draws you in. And the last one is really to show that this is a health issue, with the doctor on the side giving the facts and showing the facts. Overall, this was really fun for me to do and to advocate for a cause that is really kind of being swept under the rug and not talked about. I hope you enjoyed this presentation as much as I enjoyed doing it. Thank you so much.